Hey guys, Maren here from the Weekend Builds. As Jed mentioned in another thing, I'm just going to do a quick video today on a few quick things that you always need to know how to do and check when you own your own car, especially before, long trips. And it is a very simple thing and a lot of people do know how to do it, but I also know a hell of a lot of people that don't, and it's something you really, really need to. Alright, so we've got our 3 different cars here. The reason why we're going to do 3 different cars is because every engine in each car that we own is set up a little bit differently. So giving you a 3, I can just show you what you're basically looking for. So we're going to go through a few things. We're going to check your wiper fluid, brake fluid, radiator fluid, and most importantly, our engine oil. So we're going to check all those and I'll show you how to do them, and let's get going. Alright, so engine number 1 is our old faithful Brucey. So I'm going to point out with you what we're looking at. So we've got our wiper fluid. We've got our nicely labelled engine oil, so it's pretty foolproof, this one. Now, Brucey is an older engine, so we've got our radiator cap for our radiator fluid. And if you come over here, brake fluid. Alright, first one, water for the washer. Cap just comes off. You can see the water in there, so we're pretty good. But obviously most of these have an indicator on the side. I don't know if you can see that, and that'll just tell you when it's getting low. So all you need to do to top that up is literally pop the pop the cap off and put water in it, or you can get, we use this one, just grabbed it from Super Cheap. It's really good, and the measurements are all on the side. It's pretty foolproof. You just put it in, put the water in, whack the cap back on, you're done. Right. Engine oil, another easy one. All this stuff is easy, quick to do. So engine oil, you pull out your dipstick.
You're a dipstick.
Thanks, Jen. Wipe it clean. If I can find the hole, Jesus. Alright, chuck him back in. And then you'll be able to get your reading, which, as you can see, we've got enough. You've got, if obviously you've got full, low, easy. So we're pretty good with that because we only did it the other day. Oh my god. And all you do, chuck it back on. So that one's all good, but if we did need engine oil, all you do is take the cap off. Usually do it when the motor is not hot. Trust me, it's easier. All you do is take the cap off, just literally pour engine oil in the hole. That's it. And do that. Alright, radiator. So we've got our radiator cap here. All you do, pop him off. Now as you can see, we're fine. You can see all the liquid, the fluid, whatever you call it. It's all there, so easiest thing. Twist it back on. That's that. Now last one, brake fluid. Just tank, easy cap, pop the cap off. And as you can see, it's full of brake fluid, so we should be all right. So pop that back on. All right. Also, with most of these clear tanks, there'll be a max and a min line on, so you just keep an eye on that. It's even easier. Alright, so one little different thing about this old girl is that it runs a hydraulic fan. So unlike our other 2 cars that I'll be showing you today, this one needs fan fluid as well, and that is literally another cap. It's got the marks on it, and that's it. And obviously our other 2 cars do have an electric fan now. Also, one I actually forgot to mention at the start, power steering fluid. Another easy one to check. Literally, cap off. There's a little dipstick. You can see we've got a shitload in there. So yeah, that's one car down, and it literally took what? Not even 10 seconds. Alright. We're outside now with the elements. It's friggin' hot. So engine number 2, this is our 2013 Hyundai. As you can see, engine is completely different, completely set up differently. But all right, basics. Engine oil, another dipstick, wiper fluid, radiator, brake. And like I was saying, this is all electric, so we don't really need to check the power steering fluid because there is none. All right, wash fluid once again. This one has a dipstick. So the tank is all the way down there. So you just lift the dipstick up. You can see sort of where the water sits on the dipstick. So we're fine. And like the other one, pour water in for your whatever. So this one, we have a tank for the radiator, low high mark. You can just look at it and know, really easy. This one does have a cap, but it is just easier to check the tank. Alright, brake fluid, cap, look in the reservoir, max line, minimum line. As you can see, we're all good. Alright, last but not least, engine oil, dipstick. Dipstick once again is a bit different. Oop, still got the low. In, out. Way home, so make sure it clicks right down to the bottom. Pull it up. As you can see, the level, plenty in there. Also note too, we have been driving this today and the car is parked on a slight lean, so that's always going to play a little bit of a factor in the measurements, but we're all good. Alright, third engine. We have our Ranger. As you can see, once again, completely different setup, all fairly easy to find. So, wiper blade, radiator, brake, and engine oil, which I'm probably going to need a step ladder, but we'll see. Thank you, Jed. So the Ranger is only a year old, so it's a fairly modern car. So most modern cars these days have a sensor, so it will let me know when this is running low, but as all of them, cap, water, chemical, you're good to go. Radiator, once again it's a tank. You'll see the low high marks. If you needed to, you just pour the radiator fluid in. Now this car, you cannot actually access the radiator cap, it doesn't have one. Engine oil, dipstick, which I'm a bit short. Different looking dipstick, but same principle. Jesus. All the way home. And as you can see, the little bar there's pretty full. Ow. Brake fluid, once again, little tank. Marks on the side show you if it's low or not. Once again, to top it up, just got a cap. Just pour it in, and away you go. Alright, so as a generalized rule on how to identify these depending on what you have under your hood, the wiper fluid tube, it's usually a tube. Most modern cars will have a blue cap on it, and as you can see the symbol, which is pretty self-explanatory. Your brake fluid is usually mounted to your firewall or your brake booster. So it's also pretty easily identified and mostly on the firewall. Most cars now have the radiator tanks. You'll know how to spot your radiator tank. And your engine oil, usually a yellow handle, and it's usually, well, always a dipstick. So they're usually pretty easy to find. You just have to look for them.